So, hey, could you just tell us a little bit about how you deal with leads when you first get the leads? How do you contact them? How do you reach out to them?
All right. So when the leads come in, the very first step that we do is we validate that it's a human being. And we have to do that. I don't want to say sneaky, but we have to be kind of clever about it because we don't want to turn off or offend someone that is a human by asking them the question, are you human? Right. So the methodology that we use is the majority of our ads are reaching out for children, and it's the parents that are actually connecting us. So the first question we ask is, how old is your child? Okay. Very, very simple, very, very logical question. All right. They've already selected a time, they've already selected their appointment date, they've already got that. So by asking that question, how old is your child? Then you immediately engage a real parent. Okay. If we don't get a response, we don't pester. If we do get a response, then we take them to our immediate trial upsell. So the marketing, the lead that goes out right now, or the advertisement that goes out right now is promoting a free week of martial arts training, which is great. People will jump on that. So now you have to qualify, is this a person that's just looking for somewhere to stick their kids next week? Or is this a person that's serious or seriously interested in making the change to their child's lifestyle that's going to lead them to excellence in the martial arts? So the way we answer that is with a simple commitment. And that's where this first upsell comes in. So the first upsell is, look, you got a free week. If you buy a uniform, I'll give you an additional free week. So you can turn your free week into 2 free weeks simply by buying a uniform. The uniform is $49. $49 is just underneath half of our lowest monthly tuition. Okay. So if they're willing on a blind ticket to make that commitment of that amount of money, then chances are, number one, they're going to be able to afford my tuition. Number two, they are more interested in martial arts than just it being, here's something free that we can do this week or some type of a passive recreational activity. Okay. And number three, with the verbal or with the communicable monetary commitment, now I have a very firm feel that this person is going to show up into the school. Okay.
Yep.
So then we move to the stage of when they show up at the door. They show up at the door. We make sure that our school is kept very, very clean in our lobby area, our presentation area. It's kept in such a way that is clean, that is welcoming, and that is exciting. My walls are purple, black, and red. So they're like really outstanding, sharp, bold colors. Okay. But yet with the seriousness that gives you that we are martial arts training and we're having fun. Okay. So when the person walks in, they get a nice warm greeting. My girl at the front, hi, how are you doing? You must be. She has their name because we know their appointment. Okay. Sometimes we do get walk-ins that just randomly walk in, and it's like, no, that's not my name. It's okay, that's fine. But that lets them know also that they're walking into a place where we expect people to come in. So there's no such thing as bad when making that mistake. It all plays towards the good. So nonetheless, the people feel welcome. We've identified them by name. All right. If they've pledged to buy the uniform, we have the uniform already aside. Part of our conversation in doing the upsell is we ask the child's approximate weight. Okay. Sometimes that can be a little uncomfortable for parents, but by saying the word approximate weight, it lets them give you an answer right off the bat. Okay. I have had one lady that actually says, oh, let me get home and weigh them. And I was like, no, we just need something in the ballpark. She was good with it. Okay.
Cool.
So it happens. All right. Anyways, having the uniform ready to go and sitting right there where the parent can see it, it engages them in moving to the next step. So what happens is now, before we give them the uniform, we have a little spill that we give about our school. Welcome to our school. Here's what our style is about. You're going to get the uniform, but you don't get the belt. You have to earn the belt, and earning the belt is done with the student creed. We tell them, we tell them all this information, let them know about the school, take them on a really quick tour through the dojo. I mean, dojo's it's wide open, so you can see almost everything from the front door. But we just kind of show them around in the dojo, let them know where they are, and that again makes them at home. And the last thing you do is show them where the restroom is. That makes everybody feel at home. If they know how to find the restroom, they automatically feel at home. So you let them know where the restroom is. Then you bring their attention back over to the uniform. You give them the uniform, do the financial exchange, and then you set up or you refresh their timing, like when their class is supposed to be. Sometimes I do get people that walk in, they have a 4 o'clock class, and they show up at 3:58. All right. It's frustrating, but in her spiel, she'll let them know that, you're supposed to be within the first 10 minutes of class or you won't be allowed. And we actually have had some that have come in that have been late, like past that first 10 minutes of class. And she's really good about sitting them down. And then after class, I come out when I'm done teaching, talk to that parent and let them know, look, we're going to restart your week the next time you come. So I don't penalize them for being late, but they feel penalized because they've sat there and watched this exciting class take place and they weren't a part of it. So I make them a big promise, give them a big smile, let them know, look, next time you come, that'll be your first day. We'll count that as day one. You still get your free week. I'm glad you bought the uniform. That means you're going to get 2 weeks, rock and roll. Okay. So let's
Nice.
go down another avenue. Let's go down the avenue of the people that don't buy the uniform. Okay. We don't treat them like chump change. All right. Just because they didn't buy a uniform. We still welcome them into class. We give them an exciting class. And on that first class, at the end of that first class, I personally re-offer the uniform upgrade. Okay. So it doesn't expire on that first day. All right. Or it doesn't expire until they walk out the door on that first day. Now, if this child has been in my class, taken my class, and at the end of that class, the parent's not buying the uniform, there's some indications. Okay. Um, they just came to do something on that one Tuesday or one Thursday evening. Maybe they're in a financial situation and they can't really afford it, which means they might be challenged even at paying the rates, which we will work with people that will work with us. So we don't just reject everybody based upon financial hardship. Okay. But I do ask the question, and I ask it very boldly because here's the thing. And a lot of people are like, I can't believe you asked that. Let me tell you why. If a person has come to your class, they've had a taste of you, and you're good at what you do. I'm good at what I do. I don't mean to sound arrogant, but I'm good at what I do. Okay. So if they've come to my class, they've enjoyed this, and they're not willing to make that $49 commitment at that point, then something's wrong on their end. I'm going to lose them anyway. If they've got there on day one and they've done everything and they haven't made that commitment, I'm already about to lose them. So, what do I have to lose by asking this one question? Is it a financial challenge? You see, the worst thing I can do is offend them, so to speak. Well, they're going to leave anyway. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because if it's not a financial challenge and they're not choosing to pay it, then they're not going to enroll. They were just coming to drop their kid off. They have something fun to do, a one time life experience, and they're on their way out. Okay. And that means at that point that I have failed to impose upon them the beauty of martial arts training and this wonderful lifestyle that I live. So for me to ask the question, I have nothing to lose, but I do have something to gain. Because if I ask them that question, is it a financial challenge? And they come back and say, well, yeah, I really don't get paid until da da da. And that's a lot of money to make. Now let's start talking. Now we can commit. Okay. What is it that you're hesitant on? Is it, that you don't want to invest this kind of money in something that, little Johnny or whatever is not going to do in the future? Or is it that it's the difference between putting groceries on your table and letting him have this powerful life altering experience in his life? Because I don't want to take bread off your table. And I do want your child to have the best experience in life possible. Okay. So I take them to the next level. All right. And there's a lot of different financial things that I can do to make it where the parent can come in. But at the same time, I don't carry anybody either. Okay. If I don't get it right there, it comes later. You know what I'm saying? And it may come later with this kid being the poster child for having his grades reversed, or, standing up to a bully, or whatever the scenario is. That child becomes a superstar, and that's worth the loss of those initial funds in itself, because it speaks to the power of what we do here in our school. Okay. So
Yeah.
now let's jump to the end of the trial. All right. So the trial is over now. Okay. We have a meeting. It's about a 20-minute meeting. All right. I have a little slideshow. I take them through the slideshow. And what the slideshow basically does, it gives them a little bit of history on our school. It talks about Kyoshi. It talks about his history. It talks about my personal history. And it really, most important, besides history, is it sets a plan for the future. It shows those parents what their child is going to look like as a black belt. It shows what their child is going to look like after consistent martial arts training. Okay. Then I present the pricing package, blah, 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 and they're enrolled.
Nice.
That's the deal.
That's great. Yeah.
All
Nice.
right.
Yeah. Thank you. And one question, you were saying, like, if they did have a financial challenge, what kind of what would you do if they did? What kind of offers can you make them?
So some of the brackets, what I'll do is like, let's just say the lowest bottom bracket. Okay. What I'll do is I'll let them take class. I'll give them an extra week without a uniform.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's to see, that's to build the relationship and to see what's up. What do I lose? I lose one spot on my floor for 2 more days. Okay.
Yeah.
But what do I gain? I gain trust and I gain the knowledge that I'm in this with you along this struggle. Okay.
Yeah.
Sometimes, people are just tight clinched on their purse. And when they get that little investment, all right, now they're going to pour in. Okay. Other times I've actually done tasks. I've actually done it where, okay, look, I'll give you this uniform if you'll mop my floors for the next 2 weeks. You know?
Yeah.
And what that does is that shows if a person's willing to, and I've had it, if a person's willing to mop your floors for 2 weeks for a uniform, they really want to train.
Yeah.
They really, really do. I have a purple belt right now that's what he did. He came and he swept me. He was an adult, but he came and he swept my lobby for 2 weeks in
Nice.
order to cover his uniform. And now he's a purple belt in my system. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. But
So
like, yeah, so if they can't afford the uniform though, how do they afford the tuition fees then later? Is it?
I've never had a problem. Honestly, everybody that's gone through that phase, whether they've done a week without a uniform, whether they've passed out flyers, whether they've gone and collected pickups for me, like my printouts from my printing company, or pick up my uniforms. If they've done those tasks, it works out where they'll find the money to pay for the tuition.
Right.
I've never had a problem. You know what I'm saying? I've not had a problem. Everybody that's ever worked tuition has only worked it through their trial. Once
Okay.
they get through their trial, everybody's a paying student.
Nice. Well,
And I think part of the reason to explain that is when people look at martial arts originally, they look at it as extracurricular. Okay. So it's an expense, it's a luxury, it's not a necessity. Okay.
yeah.
The same person that comes into your school and says, I can't afford to pay this, will drive out of your school, get into a car accident, and they'll go pay for a rental car
Yeah.
because they need it.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Mhm.
That same person will drive out of your school, get home, have a busted faucet, and they'll pay a plumber to fix that faucet.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So the money's there. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's about prioritization and value.
Exactly.
And
Value. Yeah.
they have to believe in either, if it's my adults, they have to believe in themselves. If it's for a child, they have to believe in their child. They have to believe that what I have to offer is going to make a monumental improvement or change in their child's life, either whether it be physical fitness, self defense, or character development, because those are the three pillars that we operate on. Okay.
Yeah.
So I've seen it. I mean, I've seen it. I have a mother right now. Actually, she was one of the leads through Matscope. Okay.
Nice.
Um, she actually started Ubering so that she could put her child in my program.
Wow.
So that's, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And she's actually, I let her child do 1 week with no uniform, an extra week with no uniform.
Okay.
And she went out and started Ubering and she came back and she's paying his program.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's
So
dedication. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, it is. And it's because I have a confidence. And so therefore I present that confidence. I know what the martial arts does for
Right.
life. I know what our style of martial arts does for people's lives. And so I think that is a big factor to do with how people just come up with money.
Yeah. Yeah. Sounds great. Thanks very much. I really appreciate all that information. Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's a great system you have too.